Okay, thanks ladies and gentlemen for coming along today for what is a truly special announcement for our football club. I'm delighted to announce that Rhyce Shaw will be the new senior coach of North Melbourne Football Club. Rhyce becomes our 36th coach in a history that stretches some 150 years. A few months ago, I sat here as we embarked on the search for our new coach, and I described the type of person that we were after to lead our team. That was someone of the highest integrity, someone who could get the very best out of our players, a people person who could build meaningful relationships with all of our people and take us forward as we strive to win our next premiership. We wanted the best the industry could offer and someone who would embrace the past, the present and of course the future. We found that person in Rhyce. Since Rhyce took over as interim coach 2 months ago, we've seen a transformation and a response from our entire football department that encouraged us, sometimes inspired us, and has certainly reassured us. He was the best fit for our club, and we thank him for his efforts so far, and also thank his family, Leah, Freddie, and Louis. Rhyce has been an outstanding leader in his time at the helm, and we are delighted to make his appointment formal today. Finally, I'd like to also thank my fellow coach selection panel members, Carl Dilena, our CEO, Paul Dwyer, a fellow board member, and of course, Glenn Archer. We're happy to take your questions and please congratulate me on making the formal announcement to Rhyce Shaw. Happy to take questions. I'm sure it's all a surprise to you.
Rhyce, I know you've been obviously cautious in these press conferences lately, saying this has got to be full, obviously not hinting that it was done. When did you absolutely know you were a lock?
I absolutely knew I was a lock yesterday. We signed the papers yesterday afternoon, and I think you can only know that when you put pen to paper, and I was really happy to do so yesterday.
Rhyce, when you set out with the job, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
When you first set out with the job, did you think you could end up in this situation, or were you just sort of seeing how you went?
My main role at that time was just to make sure that the players were okay and that they were in a good mindset to continue on throughout the season, and that was my number one priority. I didn't really think about it too much until probably the last 4 or 5 weeks, where it suddenly became an option, and I was so that first month I was really just worried about how the players were going, how the club was going, and making sure that we could go forward in the best possible way.
Obviously unique circumstances, Rhyce, but has it happened, senior coaching, has it happened quicker than you'd sort of planned or expected?
It probably has happened a little bit quicker than I expected, but I back myself in any situation, and I've been in the industry 20 years now, and I think I know it pretty well. I'm still learning each and every day, and that's the great thing about being a senior coach, is that you are always learning, and you've got 45, 46 players to look after, along with a lot of staff that you've got to make sure that they're your number one priority, and things are cropping up, and as I said, I'm experiencing different stuff, and it's been fantastic.
Was there a particular game or moment where you actually shifted and thought, this is for me, or maybe I'm a real chance to lead this club?
I wouldn't say it was a particular game. I think I just started to realise that I actually enjoy this job pretty early, and I really enjoy the ability to change people's and players' perspective on both football and life, and guide them in the direction that I'd like them to go, and that I've learnt from my experiences in footy, both good and bad, that I kind of know the path to go down, and hopefully I can direct those people in that manner. And I think just the way the players have been playing at certain times throughout this period has really given me a really positive attitude going forward.
And was there a turning point when you realised that Rhyce was the man for the top job?
Well, I think once we saw a body of work over 4 or 5 games, and realised that the increased output from the team wasn't just a sugar hit, which can happen sometimes when an interim coach comes in, but I think we started to see a sort of a sustained, steady improvement and an understanding and a capability to do the job and take the job on. So, like Rhyce said, there wasn't one particular moment, but over a 6-7 week period, we started to form a view or assist it in forming a view. It's a unique thing, the coaching selection process, because you can have people come in and present to you, but when you're seeing someone presenting to you week in, week out, obviously we've got the opportunity to make decisions over a 7-8 week period.
And did you interview any other candidates, and how much did the man beside you blow you away last Monday with the interview we had there?
Yeah, we certainly had discussions with other people, and we said that we would, and we've done that. We've had the opportunity for Rhyce to come and present to the board once, and also come and present to the coaching panel once or twice. But we've also had the opportunity to have lots of discussions along the way. So it's not one thing at a particular moment that makes you say that's the decision we're going to make. It was a whole series of events over a long period of time.
Was Rhyce the only one to present?
Yes, in a formal manner, that's correct. Yep.
Do you feel like it was an exhaustive process that you went through?
Absolutely. I've seen some commentary about our process, and I can assure our members and supporters that it was exhaustive. We, right from the outset, we identified right across the industry a significant number of people who we thought had the capability to do the job. We categorised those into various segments along the lines of experienced coaches, experienced assistant coaches, how many years that they'd been in the role for. We did extensive analysis of the sort of output of those individuals, and also spoke to a lot of people within the industry about that, and we narrowed that down to a short list. And we also obviously had some conversations with those who are pretty experienced and pretty successful, as you would expect us to. And all along that process, we had the opportunity to observe Rhyce in a live situation, which I have to say, we're fortunate that we had that, because it gives us an opportunity to see someone almost presenting week in and week out.
Carl, in terms of the detail around the deal, can you shed some light on it, the sort of nitty-gritty of it? How long did he sign up for?
With the contract?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, the deal's structured along the lines of the way we do our standard executive contracts. So it's a rolling employment contract, so open-ended in that sense, as long as both parties are happy to continue. But to provide some additional certainty, for a first-year coach, there's a sort of a 2-year fixed period at the front end, just for that added certainty, and then it just reverts back to a rolling employment contract.
Ben, do you expect to now look for a sort of experienced assistant or a senior assistant coach to assist Rhyce? I'm not sure if Rhyce will be great by himself, but are you in the market for like a Roosie or something like that?
Look, I think that's ultimately up to Rhyce and Brady Rawlings when he joins us as the head of football. But I expect that they would formulate a view about that and what sort of additional resources or additional personnel that they might want to complement the existing team with, or add to the existing team with. So, those sort of discussions and plans will unfold over the next few months.
Will the contractual situation with Brad, if he doesn't get a job next year, limit the football department spend in any way?
Look, we're not going to comment on the specifics of anyone's contract, other than a couple of the headlines. We're certainly confident we've got the capacity to deal with anything financially that we might have to deal with, and that we can deal with it within the soft cap.
Do you think widespread perception that Rhyce was in the box seat to get this job deterred other candidates from approaching and being interviewed?
Well, certainly not to my knowledge. As I said, we spoke to quite a number of individuals, and some of those were highly engaged, others weren't so, for different reasons. I can't recall anyone saying, I'm not putting my name up because I think Rhyce is a lock, and I think Rhyce would tell you that he's gone through a pretty extensive process and some pretty hard questioning from some of the panel members.
Rhyce, what did Dad and your uncle and brother all say?
I spoke to my brother this morning and spoke to Dad. I couldn't get on to Mum. I got on to my sister. I spoke to my wife. She's actually crook at the moment with my little son. They're at home. But yeah, Dad's really proud. It's a special moment for us as a family, and I know that he's really proud of what I've done and what I've achieved, and hopefully can achieve in the future. So yeah, all my brother was worried about was the money and how much I was going to make. Yeah. All I'm worried about is what we're doing tomorrow night and then into the future after that.
And you're comfortable with the contractual situation of after 2 years being going on a sort of a rolling executive type thing?
Yeah, to be honest, that doesn't worry me whatsoever. I'm confident in my own ability to provide the best opportunity for this football club to be successful, and I really want to achieve that. And it's such an honour and a privilege to be put in this position today, and I'm really looking forward to what the future holds. And I can honestly say I'm not worried about that, because I think you've got to back yourself in. You've got to be confident in what you do and how you go about it, and that's all I'm worried about, and that's all I can control.
Rhyce, you're really excited from the perspective that it's hard for assistants, because if you look at your resume, notwithstanding your connection with the players and respect amongst the club, compared to like an experienced coach, it can be hard for assistants to finally get a job. But I guess Clark and Ruby were assistants once as well. So you're wrapped at the club, in particular Ben, has given you this blank sheet of paper to go ahead and get this job.
Yeah, as I said, it's a fantastic opportunity for myself. I've been lucky enough to fall into this position. I moved back for family reasons from Sydney last year, and to get the opportunity that I have now and over the last 7 or 8 weeks has been amazing. And now to be the senior coach of the North Melbourne Football Club and going forward, I'm honoured and really privileged to be in this position. And again, I'm looking forward to what the future holds, because I think it's really exciting.
Rhyce, what sort of support do you want around you, specifically the experience side of things? Because you have commented on that you'd like to have someone who's had that sort of experience before alongside.
Yeah, I think off the top of my head that would be the ideal situation, but to be honest, I can't really comment on it, because I'm not worried about that, and I can't worry about that until the end of the year, and until I can speak to Brady, I don't think I'll be crossing that bridge anytime soon. And we're really worried about Friday night, and that's all I can really comment on.
Rhyce, Ben said there were some hard questions thrown at you during the process. Could you able to expand on what some of those questions were?
I think that's probably left to that room, to be honest. But it was a really thorough process, and I was really happy to go through that. And we spent a lot of time talking and discussing the many factors that go into being a senior coach, and the guys really grilled me, and I was really happy to be put under the griller, and because I knew that's the way forward, and if I was to pass those tests, then I deserved the job, and I was rapt to go through it.
And how did the players react when they were told?
Oh, well, there's only 2 of them here now, so
Before Rhyce answers that, can I answer it, Rob? I think the response we got from the players and the staff when we announced it this morning is a testament to Rhyce. It was genuine applause, genuine happiness. They were thrilled to see him appointed. You could sense the warmth and the energy in the room when that announcement was made, and I think it's a testament to Rhyce that he's, in a short space of time, over 10 months, he's been able to build really, really strong, meaningful relationships with all the people, not just the players but all the staff as well.
Rhyce, given the uptick that you've seen since you've taken over with the playing group, were you really selling that message of hope when you were talking about taking on this role and leading these players?
I don't think I really needed to sell anything. I tried to deal in fact and direction, and that's what I'm about, and I'm as honest as I can be in those areas, and I was really rapt with the response we got from the players. And it wasn't just me. The other coaches were heavily involved in this, and we were rapt with that first 5 or 6 weeks. the guys have put in some amazing efforts, even though in the last couple of weeks we've lost games. You can see the never-beaten spirit that we all believe in here, and I'm rapt to be part of that. And it's something that I'm really proud of, and the way the players are going about it. And if I've played a part in that, it's fantastic, and it's great that I can continue to do that.
Ben, how do you balance the timing of this deal? Obviously, you knew Shaw was your man, because there could be even more change in the coaching market in the next 6 to 8 weeks, so you're obviously happy with the timing.
Clearly, we're happy with the timing because we're sitting here today, Tom. But look, I don't think what other clubs do or have to go through really didn't play a part in any of our decision making from, you know, the very initial start of the process to where we are today. I mean, ultimately, you have to make the decisions that are right for our football club, and we've chosen to do that and do it now. You know, we formed a view over the last week or so that Rhyce was our guy. And we want to finish off the season strong, and we want to be able to plan for next year as well. So the timing makes sense from our point of view.
Rhyce, how do you balance the now with the future as well? How will you deal with that over the coming 4 weeks or so?
Yeah, that's pretty easy. I deal with the now. I deal with the week to week, and I've said that throughout the process that I'm only concentrating on the next challenge, and the next challenge is tomorrow night for me, and then we'll worry about Geelong after that. But that's all I can really worry about. I know now that I'm the senior coach, and we'll be looking for next year, and are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? I'm really concentrating on this week, and that's all I can do, Glenn.
And you haven't changed at all over that period of time. How much do you think having the senior role could change you as a person, do you think?
I think the boys will pull me in the line if I start changing. They know me too well. I think that I really like to be a part of the group. I like to go forward with a collaborative approach, and I think if I start being a dictator, they'll pull me in the line pretty quickly.
Rhyce, have you had any say in this management decisions at this stage?
No, we really haven't discussed it, to be honest. It's I've been really well, I suppose, not protected, but I've been kept informed on what's going on, but around the place. But in terms of list management, I haven't really had anything to do with it, because my role and sole role to this point has been to worry about the group and the players, and that's all I can do.
Do you have a perspective on Todd Goldstein, whether he should stay or go?
Todd's been a fantastic contributor to our football club, and from my perspective, he's a great player and someone that we would love to have going forward. But that's not for me to say. We haven't spoken to Brady yet, so we're looking for when he gets involved that decisions will be made.
What about for you, Ben and Carl, in terms of, I think a couple of months ago, upon Brad's departure, there was a bit of uncertainty around the direction of the list and the footy department. Is there greater clarity there as to where are you coming or going? Can you contend next year? Is it a few years away?
Yeah, I think it's been a bit fluid this year. Probably a little bit not confused, but a little bit unsettled with Brad moving on and what direction he might think we should go versus what others might think. So we've spent a lot of time this year working through that, in terms of where we see ourselves as a club. And I think we see ourselves as with the ability to be super competitive going forward, and we've shown that this year. I think we also need to supplement what we've got at the moment to take that next step, because when you get up against the top teams in the competition, we're probably just lacking a little bit there. But we don't think it's a massive gap. I think we've got a really good core group at the moment, and if you seen this year with some of the youngsters who've stepped up as well and starting to hit their straps as young players. So I see it more as supplementing what we've got, building on that really strong core playing group we've got, and really striving for getting back up the ladder as soon as we can.
There's been some public speculation about your job. Are you committed?
Yeah, look, I think with change, there's always speculation. Will other people move on? Are they going to explore other opportunities? Because change can be unsettling. But the way I look at it is, we've made a massive progress as a club over the last 5 or 6 years. Going from paying 92.5% of the salary cap, being about $4 million behind in football spend, to really drag the business to a stage where now we can compete with other teams. We can play 100% of both the salary cap and the soft cap. So we're really well positioned off the field in that sense. And I think the next phase for us as a business is to say, okay, let's apply that same rigour now and that same discipline throughout football with our off-field pursuits within football and our playing group to really take that next step from an on-field perspective. And I see that as a really, really exciting opportunity for the club, because we've never been in a position where we've been this strong financially. It's always been sort of battling to get through. So we need to capitalise on that now, and I just see that as a great position for the club to be in.
Rhyce, could you have imagined sitting here today back when you're a knockabout lad playing for Collingwood?
No. to be completely honest, I only really started thinking about coaching when I was probably in my second or third last year at Sydney, and I got the opportunity to sit on the bench with the Swans reserves and did a little bit of work with Jared Crouch, and that probably lit a fire inside me, and it's probably gone from there. And I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to coach the reserves team at Sydney straight out of playing. So threw me in the deep end there, and that was a great experience. And ever since, I've just loved it. And I didn't expect to be here, but I'm glad I am.
It's been quite a journey for you. Have you been able to reflect on that just yet?
No, not at all. I haven't had time.
You might get a call from your brother, an assistant coach's role in the future. Is that something down the track that you can actually look at? Could you put up with him?
That's a tough one, I think. He's going all right as a player, so hopefully he gets another year and I won't have to deal with it for another 12 months.
What about a new football director on the board? Is that close to your appointment? Yeah, it's close.
Well, as you know, we're undertaking a review, not just of the football department, but right across the organisation as to how we can improve our output as a footy club, particularly on the field. That review is due in the next couple of months to come to the board, and part of that we'll take a look at where we can improve as a board structurally, and the way and if we need to supplement the board with some other people who have some specific skills in a particular area. Obviously, football is the most important thing that we do, and we would like to get a director in who has some very specific football knowledge and a contemporary knowledge of the football industry. So we'll look at that, but we'll wait till the review comes down and then we'll go from there. Any final questions? Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.